Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to some more fun and capers with film. Hi guys, and I'm going to be shooting some expired Tmax 400 on this scene here. The Tmax is 2017, so it's hardly expired. I'm not going to allow for any compensation on it at all, really. And I've got to thank Gary Geezer for sending me the expired film. I'm going to get through that pretty quick, I reckon. Anyway, so Tmax 400, a nice T-grain film, and it should yield some nice results on this scene that I've got here. You can see this window. I've got a large window behind me, but I've covered half of it with the curtain, otherwise it was just, the subject was too bright. I want the light just to gently wrap around these tulips here, and I've done some metering. I want to shoot at f/22 because I want to get all this in, hopefully get all this in sharp focus, and that background, we'll soon see what happens there. But the backgrounds that I'm using is just some sheeting that I've got from the garden to stop weeds coming through, stones, you know, that sort of stuff, very cheap. And I've also placed a piece here as well. The reason I've put a piece there is I'm not getting that in the scene. I'm only going to get half this jug in the scene, but I've put that there to stop the table reflecting any light back up. Just sort of makes it more dense, if you like. Stops light reflecting back up into the flowerwood. So I've done some metering. I've got f/22 here, and in the background it's coming out around about 11.5, so it's going to be darker than these tulips, which is ideal. I'm using the Mamiya RZ67 for this shot, and pretty simple setup, pretty simple scene. Anyone can do this stuff indoors with whatever camera you've got. Now I do want to play with my filters. I've got some Cokin filters, and you guys know that I've been playing around with them lately. I've did some shots on DSLR using those filters, so I'll show you those results that I got on the DSLR, and then I'm going to use the same filters on the film, and then we'll get developing afterwards. So let's get on with the shoot. So f/22 on the camera, and I'm running at half a second exposures, which that'll do me, 400 speed film, yeah, half a second exposures, f/22 on the camera, and I've also got a cable release inside. Now when I click the camera shutter, that's just opening the mirror. Nothing will happen until I press the leaf shutter on the lens. So although you hear the big mirror slap and the clunk, that's not me taking the picture. I then have to press the shutter release, or the leaf release. Okay, I have to press the cable release to open the leaf shutter. You know, you get the idea. Right, let's get on. Before I carry on, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get a notification next time I post a video. Cheers. So I'm all composed and raring to go. So let's flip up that mirror like I said. The first shot without any filters at all. Shot one done. I have to compensate, open up one stop. That puts me down to 1 second now instead of half a second. So I've got to be careful for reciprocity failures. So the next filters, I need a bit more compensation. So I'll use the aperture for that, not the shutter speed. I don't want to run into reciprocity failure. Now this will be fun, the green filter. It says 1.5 stops, but I'm going to give it 1, 2 and 3 just to see what happens. Open that mirror, off goes the leaf. That's 1 stop. Now I'm going to use the aperture now to f/16 for the second stop of exposure, and then 3 stops, which is now f/11. So we're going to get a little bit out of focus on some of the plant, but okay, so that's had 3 stops. In goes the orange. That needs 2 stops extra, so that'll be f/16 1 second. I'm not going to do any others because I know that 2 stops and 3 for the red is fine. The last filter is the red filter, 3 stops compensation, so 1 second and f/11. And that should turn those red tulips kind of more pale. Right, that's the filters done. I'm not going to play around with the filters anymore. Just going to change some compositions and see what else I can get on these tulips without any filters. So that's it, that's me shoot done. Last few frames I played around with certain compositions around the flower here and certain apertures as well, going into shallow depth of field, see what that does. But I'll bang up the DSLR shots for you guys to see now, the differences on the filters with the DSLR, while I go off and develop this film and come back in the darkroom. So that was interesting, playing around with the DSLR and also the film. Not really a DSLR film comparison, but it's interesting again to be using these filters, and I'm starting to get used to them, especially the yellow filter. Still not sure about the green. That one still gives me a bit of confusion, but hey-oh, it's only practice. This is the negative that I'm going to print. This is the Kodak Tmax 400 film. This is the one I'm going to print. There was no filters on that one, and you know, like everything with my shows, there's always something going wrong. Look at this, I don't know what that is. There's a mark on the neg, which I believe is from the backing paper, because I don't think I can show you these. I'll see if I can throw a scanned image up. But I could see the Kodak logo and the numbers inscribed on the neg, which I can only imagine that they've come off of the backing paper, but God knows how that's happened. Let us know in the comments if you've got any idea. Maybe humidity storage or something like that. It is an expired film from 2017, but that's only 4 years ago. 3 years ago. So it can't be that bad. But anyway, this is a negative that I'm going to make a print of. Let's get it on the enlarger. Okay, so I've got the negative inside the carrier. Just have to do a couple of test prints first. And as always, I've got a 2.5 grade filter in there to start with. Even though a lot of you guys say that's the contrast of the paper anyway. I always put a 2.5 grade in. From there I can work my stuff out. Let's go to F8. Let's have a look at the neg on the enlarger. Let's have a quick look at the grain, see what it looks like. I'm expecting it to be very fine, even though it was Rodinal at 1 part to 25. It's pretty fine grain. It is there, but it's not clumpy like other dilutions of Rodinal, so that's quite nice to see. That's good. And we'll do a test strip. So we'll do a test strip all the way down. A little bit of card out, and we'll do 2 seconds. 2, 4. I think I might have needed a smaller aperture. 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, let's have a look at that. So I've just done my test strip. I don't know if you can see properly on the camera. I've got 2 seconds, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12. Way too dark up in this area. That's too light, that's too light. Look at the leaf. 6 seconds, looks like it's starting to hit some punch there. Looks quite nice. 8 seconds, I just feels I don't know, I reckon 8 seconds might cut the mustard, you know. I'm going to go for 8 seconds. And off we go, 8 seconds. No messing about, no dodging or burning. It is what it is, it's a nice neg. So this should come out really nice. Done. And it goes into, this is Ilford's multi-grade paper, resin paper, and Ilford's multi-grade developer. I've mixed everything fresh just for this session. I haven't been in here for a few days, so it's always best to get your chems nice and fresh, otherwise you end up getting muddy results maybe if your developer's exhausted. That's looking really smart. Don't forget guys, if you're a regular watcher, a viewer of my channel, thanks very much for watching. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe, and if you've never smashed that like button before, give it a smash for me. It does help with the YouTube figures and stuff. Okay, we'll let that fix. It's certainly got some pizzazz to it, and can't see any dust marks, so that's nice to know. Looks like I've nailed this print without wasting any more paper. So I'll leave that washing for a bit and I'll get some fresh water on it after. Okay, so this is Selenium toner, and no, I haven't turned into Papa Smurf. You've got to wear your gloves with this stuff. It's not, you don't really want to get it inside any cuts or on your fingers, or especially in your eyes. And I open the door in my darkroom as well when I'm doing this, because this stuff stinks. I'm now going to put the print inside the Selenium toner. This will make the print more archival, conservation if you like. So hopefully over time it won't deteriorate or fade. That's what the Selenium toner is for, and it also depends on how long you leave it in there and the strength of the toner as well. You can make the print go a slight tint. Different papers do different things, but this is Ilford's multi-grade paper. I notice I don't really get any tinting on it, but maybe a slight sheen, but more than anything I know that it just preserves the print, and if anything makes it slightly, maybe slightly darker, but I don't want to go that dark because the print's dark enough as it is. So that was a concoction of all sorts. Not only was I shooting expired Kodak from 2017, well, sort of expired, it's only a few years ago, but hey-oh, it's still expired. And doing some window light, I was playing around with filters again. I still can't get my head around that green filter, what it does. I'll have to play around with it more, but I'm getting more used to that yellow filter, and I'm starting to enjoy what it does. I noticed it starts to brighten scenes up a little bit more. I haven't tried it out in haze and fog or seascapes yet, but that's my next mission, is to try out the yellow filter on seascapes and see what you can do, see if it breaks down any sea mist or whatever, like I've read. But orange and reds I've used often in the past before, and it was also interesting to see how the DSLR held up to film as well. Not in any way of comparison. This isn't digital versus film. It's just I thought I'd use the digital to see what would happen with the filters that way, and I noticed that the green was a little tiny bit lighter, but you know, is what it is, isn't it? And that film, what on earth went on? I can't understand why. There's the back in there, looks solid as a rock to me. Why on earth did those numbers and the Kodak inscribing there on the backing paper, why did that come out on the negative? I have not got a clue. Maybe someone could let us know in the comments what your views are on that. I've put this against the light box, I can't see through it whatsoever. Yeah, so that was very interesting, and the print at the moment is over there drying. In fact, it's almost dry, but I'll leave it drying overnight. That's going on eBay, guys. A link is going to be in the description of this video. If you want to support the channel, jump on there and bid up for this print. Worldwide shipping on that. So overall, it was quite a good day. I've shot film, which is what I love doing. I've been in the darkroom, which is another thing I enjoy doing. Made a couple of prints, learnt a little bit more about those filters, and I just haven't figured out that Tmax film yet. Maybe someone can let us know in the comments. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, subscribe, give it a massive thumbs up, and thanks to all the support that I get from Patreons and the YouTube members. And I'll catch you next time. All right, I've got to tidy this stuff up now. Hey Google, play Phil Collins.